Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to your daily energy report for July 21st. I am the spiritual bodybuilder here with Sun Soul TV, working with Maru Matu. Thank you so much. Send some love to my super homie. I am so grateful for you. We reached a whole nother level of like past life, like next dimension connection shit. Oh my God. Like, Maru, I love you. Wow. Like there are no words. Some serious deep healing work with me, Maru, and our boy David, or how Maru likes the best friend David, BFD. Having a best friend be the BFD. It's beautiful. But anyways, we were a trifecta this past week, and so much healing, so much beautiful energy going on, and love to bring my heart out and spread it to you guys because that's what we do, right? So what's going on for today? So we have the sun right now at 29 degrees of Cancer, which is an anorectic degree. I don't really like that word because it sounds like the opposite of what it feels. Anorectic to me says like, you know, skinny and malnourished. It's actually quite the opposite. It's big, fat, and bulky, and muscular. It's like 10 times the energy of that particular sign because that is where it's the mastery of all that energy, okay? So with mastery of all that energy, what's Cancer all about? And, you know, on top of that, we're just coming off of a new moon that was opposed to Saturn. So now we're just 1 degree beyond that. And this is just really saying to me that it's really time. Now we are in this new dimension. We're in this new level, and you know, reality. You know, this is yesterday is basically the official starting line. Okay, so today is like the first step after that starting line of karmic return. What have you been doing in your life that's going to generate the return for the next, I'd say, 28, 30 years, right? Because we're finishing up this Capricorn Cancer dynamic, and this energy is going to last for the next 6 months or so. And with this finishing up, and you know, the moon that was just in this new at this new moon at 28 degrees was opposed Saturn that was in its home sign. So we have this massive power dynamic of our emotional response, or our emotional body, our life, in our third dimensional reality, so to speak, because that's what Saturn represents in Capricorn, right? So there is massive endings and new beginnings here, and we are officially now stepping into that new reality where whatever it is that we've been doing, focusing on, dealing with, especially as far as the humanitarian in us all, okay? What have we been doing to get what kind of return? So if you've been focusing on, you know, vindictiveness and anger and bitterness and jealousy and envy and all these dark, yucky vibrations, then that is about to come back to you about tenfold. Now, I know there's no people like that in the Sun Soul crew, and there's no people like that in the opportunity community or with spiritual bodybuilder, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and assume that nobody out here is in that category. Now, that being said, there's a good chance that there are people in our lives that are in that category. So what does that say for us? Well, you know, it's probably been a really tough or intense couple years, right? For us, the empaths, the light workers, the star seeds, we've been doing all the work. We've been digging deep within ourselves. We've been facing the shadow. We've been looking for, you know, ways to shine brighter, to basically doing shadow work for the last 3 to 5 years, pretty solid, if not longer than that. Now, all that shadow work, you know, you're like doing all this stuff for humanity, and you're like I'm helping people out so much, but I'm getting exhausted, or this is not enough, or I don't know how to, you know, why are my relationships falling apart? Why this? Why that? Why is everything suck? Or why is everything hard? Or why can't I make enough money? Or why is that one part of my life just not coming together? Well, it's because it wasn't the divine time. Now is the divine time. Woo, man, it's exciting. Okay, with all the crazy shit going on in the world, okay, it's now time. The tables are now turning, or the coin is flipping to the other side. All that difficult, dark shadow work, the hard work that we did on ourselves, the hard work that we've done to help other people is now going to start coming back around. And you may be able to start to feel it now, or you may just feel it as something's coming, not really sure what it is. But trust, this is going to be a time of stepping into, as we step into trust, we're going to actually start to feel the trust. When sometimes when you step into trust, you're just like, I don't know. I don't know. Now, the unknown feeling is still going to be there. But instead of that sort of doomy, gloomy, like dark, like shit, what's coming next? You're going to start to feel lighter, like, okay, I got this. Universe got my back. I'm going to be going to a better place. It's going to feel lighter. It's going to feel more clear, like, okay, source is talking to me clear. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. Let's make this shit happen. It's time to really step into our power. And at 29 degrees today of Cancer, it's going to be emotional day. Okay. This is infusing us with all these downloads that we really stepped into yesterday. Okay. And this is going to start to make it real. Now, the moon today is going to be, of course, in Leo, which, of course, Leo is all about, leadership, taking responsibility. So it's almost like we're going to be feeling like, all right, I'm feeling it. It's time to take responsibility. This karma is coming around, coming back to me. Let's make shit happen. Let's step into it. All right. We have Venus today. Venus at 16 degrees coming into the third part of the Neptune-Venus square. So whatever was happening during the Venus retrograde that maybe you were dealing with, what were you dealing with? Like situations with money, relationships, both, self-worth, self-confidence, okay? The angel and demon on the two shoulders thinking, how to receive. Where are we receiving? Where are we not receiving? The divine feminine nature of our consciousness is coming back into that very cloudy unknown. But now that Venus is moving forward, it's starting to like understand, like, okay, I've been here before and now I know how to navigate it, which is good. And especially with Mars being in Aries today, it's at 13 degrees. It is squaring over to our Mercury. So, the communication, and you see it everywhere. Communication is like on the fritz, especially with this whole mask, no mask thing. People are being masked Nazis out there. It's freaking ridiculous. But, that's where it's our job to master our triggers. I know for me, somebody says something to me on my mask, I just want to sit down and school them. Like, you have any idea what you're talking about or why? I don't think so. Because it's always an emotional response. But we have to watch because, especially with Mercury and Cancer, we don't want to respond to an emotional response with an emotional response. Or I should say, we don't want to respond to an emotional reaction with an emotional response, because that just feeds the narrative. Okay? We have to watch those triggers and know it's easy to get like, fuck you. Fuck you. No. Okay. Like, you're entitled to your opinion, but don't be coming at me with that shit. Like, you have your beliefs and you have a nice day. Okay? Just have a nice day. And of course, we still have Venus and Mercury in shadow, so we're still learning some lessons there. That's okay. We have Chiron at 9 degrees retrograde. So I actually like Chiron in retrograde because now all this vulnerability stuff is internal, and I think the vulnerability stuff is naturally internal already, anyways. Like, even if we project it, we're feeling most of it internally. So this just makes it more directly internal, if you will, and not so confusing. And then, of course, we have Black Moon Lilith at 0 degrees of Aries again. And Lilith has been going between 0 degrees Aries and 10 degrees of Taurus for the last 6 months. So there's something there in our ego about our sexuality, or I think that the Black Moon Lilith has something to do with all this pedophilia shit coming up, right? There's this collective ego of this deep, dark, sexual, fetishy kind of shit. Now that, of course, goes along with Pluto. In fact, Black Moon Lilith is square the nose. Let's pull up the chart right here. Here, you guys probably want to see it. So here we have 2 days chart. Okay. Now, Jupiter is now at 21 degrees of Capricorn with Pluto at 23 degrees. Now, the last time Jupiter was at 21 degrees was at the beginning of March. What was going on then? Right when the Rona hit us. So, you know, it's going to go back to 17 degrees, where it's going to go direct on September 13th. So we still have a little bit longer and a little bit more ways to go. But, you know, I feel like this Jupiter and Pluto energy is really bringing us deeper into our spirituality, making us do the work and having us face ourselves at this deeper level so that we can really, you know, be masterful of it when it comes to the real shit next year, and then in the preceding next few years after that, as we come into the Pluto return of the United States, which is gonna get wild, baby. But we can talk about that on another video. And of course, we have Neptune here. Now, Neptune is sextile over to Pluto and Jupiter, which is nice. Okay, it's all internal. So this is really heightening our intuitive capacity. It's heightening like our telepathy. I believe that this is also activating our DNA. We have to make sure that we keep this rolling, okay? Because there are forces out there that want to suppress our DNA. So fasting or eating at least healthy organic foods, you know, staying away from anything synthetic, getting away from toxic relationships, being, you know, true and honest with yourself. Two things that are really coming up big time in the collective right now are the victim and addiction. And, you know, as these things come up, you know, it may be coming up in you or other people that you know and love. Either way, you're probably going to know someone that's dealing with at least one of these things. Okay, so we have to make sure that we're not enabling an addiction or enabling a victim mentality. We have to stand up. You know, Mars in Aries, sort of like a drill sergeant. Like, it's time to, you know, man up, let's do this. Or woman up, whatever. Person up, being up. So, you know, make sure that if you're feeling that someone is violating your boundaries, it's really time to put things, people, situations in check and honor your own boundaries. This is really, self-care is critical right now. Okay. And we also have the sun that's quincunx over the south node. Okay. So things like, you know, this is all about like the bullshit that's going on in the world is just going to get more ridiculous. Probably something big is going to come out today that's going to make no sense. And they're going to try to implement some rules that make no sense. And we're just going to have to keep following. And we have, of course, we have Saturn, quincunx, the north node. So the nodes, you know, the destiny right now is just, we don't know where the hell it's going. We don't know what's going on. There's things changing every day. And this is where we focus in our soul groups, right? Like y'all just keep connecting with Sun Soul Astrology and me, your boy spiritual bodybuilder, and other people, like-minded people that are spreading this wisdom, this knowledge. You know, the Peace Dealer, Super Homie Squad represent. You know, Energy is Truth. Even like Young Pharaoh, all these guys. You know, we're all spreading this knowledge and information so that we can continue to grow and evolve. Now, 29 degrees Cancer. All right, I want to talk about the numerology aspect of it real quick. It says, a large school of baby fish swimming in a group. You spawn fertile variations on an archetypal theme. These surround and envelop you, saturated with your own creations, afloat in a multi-time warp. It is all old stuff, backed up too far for too long. And so the familiarity smothers, the closeness renders insensible. You are just about consumed by myriad paths streaming through. And the only possibility is to acknowledge how fed up you are with yourself and to open to fresh facets with no expectations, no assumptions, no programs, nothing but the living moment. So this really describes the Sun quincunx, the South Node right here to me. Like we are clearing lifetimes, literally the entire age of Pisces. We are clearing that karmically right now. And this energy, it envelopes you. It's saturating. It's all encompassing. Okay. You cannot escape it. And this is what the Saturn opposed to the Sun represents. Okay. Karma is karma. It's not good or bad. It's a reflection, right? So whatever is reflecting right now, whatever is coming up from past lives, all right? Like you don't want to get attached to anything right now because, like it says here, the familiarity smothers and the closeness renders insensible. Doesn't make sense to get too close to connected because it's fleeting. It's going to move in order to teach you what it needs to teach you. And the familiarity, it all feels so familiar. It's like, where do I know this from? Let it go. It's from a past life. It's in your consciousness, and it's meant to teach you to grow. All right. You are just about consumed by the myriad paths streaming through. And the only possibility is to acknowledge how fed up you are with yourself. Like all these learned lessons, all these things that you've gone through, all these times where you're like, you know, create this pattern over and over and over again. The 29 degree of Cancer is saying enough. No more of these fucking patterns. No more of these belief systems. I want my life to change and I need to do it now. And that's the feel. That's the energy that is going in to this new life that we're walking into. And Saturn is saying, hey, you need to take responsibility for this. Okay. Even the moon today being in Leo is activating the heart energy. Step into your responsibility. Step into being a leader of your own life. Okay. And as we continue to move through the shadow period of Venus and Mercury, things are going to become more and more clear. And we're going to, and as we see these synchronicities start to speed up, things are going to be getting more and more real. Like, okay, it is time for us to really take action on our future in the now. We create our future from where we're at right now, right? And it's going to be an emotional day. You know, Cancer is all about emotion. Okay, stepping into that emotional place with vulnerability and power, because really ultimate power is in our vulnerability. And when we master our emotions, that's where the true power lies. And this gives us an opportunity to really create that power dynamic within ourselves. So our boundaries have replaced our walls and we are officially unfuckwithable. So whatever is not meant to be in your life, chuck it in the fuck it bucket and let that freak flag fly, baby. So thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you so very much. I love you all. If you would like a reading from me, you can go to my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com. And other than that, Maru, I love you, babe. And I'll talk to you guys on the next report. Namaste.